If you're watching this video, then it simply means you're interested in history. If you're interested in history, then I think you have came across this story on the internet before, but this is the declassified version. In 1904, it was the largest pipe in the world, 6,200 feet long, 8 feet in diameter, weighing 1,700,000 pounds and 260,000 rivets holding it together. At that time, guys, I think that was the only thing Jamaica could boast about having the largest in the world. The early morning of June 24th, 1904, dawned clear and crisp. In Spanish Town, St. Catherine, and other areas outside of Kingston, men and women were lined up waiting to catch their tram to work as usual, as we all do. They waited until they realized it was not coming. The lucky ones caught rides in wagonettes and buggies. The unlucky set out on foot. No one was quite sure what had happened, only that there had been a temporary delay that would soon be fixed. By the time 8 o'clock rolled around, wild rumors had begun to circulate about a horrible accident at the bogwalk power station that had affected the tramcar system run by the West India Electric Company. It was said that up to 80 men who had been cleaning silt and debris in the 8-foot-long cast iron pipe, also known as a flume, that carried water from the Rykob River to the power station, had been washed away into the turbines and drowned. The collection of silt and debris was not uncommon, nor was the need for it to be removed so as not to inhibit the flow of water and therefore of the hydroelectric power. Nothing like this had ever happened before. By 9 o'clock, railway stations, newspaper offices, and just about anywhere information could possibly be found were packed with anxious inquirers. Much later, the only news to be had was that 33 coffins were sent out to Bogwalk by train. In Bogwalk, by this time, crowds had gathered at the power station. According to Dr. Hammond, who was called to the scene, it was one he would never forget as long as he lived. Men, women, and children lying on the ground, rolling over, clutching handfuls of grass, stones, and earth, and screaming aloud in the last extremities of mental agony, as they searched for their loved ones who seemed to be lost to them forever. At that time, 33 were believed dead and 17 missing. A few hours later, it was confirmed that the 17 had managed to escape through a manhole near the dam itself. At 1 o'clock in the morning, 61 men had gone down into the huge pipe located about 15 yards from the power station. The pipe curved slightly upward and then sharply downward, running directly into the power station itself. The men encountered about a foot of water and got down to work as usual. Colin MacDonald, one of the survivors, in speaking to a Gleaner reporter at the scene, explained that within an hour of going into the pipe he felt the water level rise, but he didn't think it was anything to worry about. It couldn't have been coming from the dam because the dam was closed. It was always closed when the men were working in the pipes. But the water kept rising slowly but surely, and by 4 a.m. the men started to panic. Their supervisor, a Mr. Doparosel, apparently tried to keep his men calm by telling them there were plenty of time to get out. There was an exit closer to the dam, but his men panicked and threw their torches into the water so that they were all covered in darkness. Channel. Soon it was said a man appeared at the manhole with a torch, lighting the way and calling to the men. 28 managed to get out. In over 20 minutes it took for the water to fill the pipe. If they had listened and remained calm, site reports reveal the 20 minutes could have saved 300 men instead of 33. Me say any of them are Christian and them see them on there with the light of the manual, you know the story. We're not going at that. According to Gleaner records of the event, Doparosel, distraught by the experience and trying to best to come to terms with his catastrophe, could only seem to say that the water must have over time swelled to the point where it rushed over the sand and debris to flood the pipe. Although no one lived to tell this tale, it is believed that 3 of the men located in a very narrow section of the pipe and panic-stricken, Doparosel explained, had tried to exit through a 2-foot 8-inch wide manhole at the same time and effectively formed a human plug, entombing all 30 behind them. These 33 were found drowned, all heaped together, their clothes torn, their faces and bodies completely mutilated. Within a few days, the tram system was back in operation, as usual. Meanwhile, families who had lost fathers, brothers, and cousins tried to come to terms with their losses. Although the West India Electric Company behaved very sympathetically towards the families, helping to organize funeral services and financial retribution. The general feeling was that someone had blundered somewhere for that level of water to have appeared. Ensuing investigations ruled the catastrophe an accident. Small consolation to the many who suffered great losses. I can bet. I just feel like them did owe them Monday some money. Today, the bogwalk power station stands closed. In the 1930s, the tramcar system was replaced by a bus system. The tram lines were uprooted and replaced with wider roads. Some lines, such as the one at Crossroads, do still exist. The tramcar stopped running in 1948. As for the large pipe in which so many drowned alive, only a shell remains, preserving the memory of the catastrophe on that June 24th morning. Yeah guys, thank you for watching this video. It's a pleasure having you here. If you actually reach this far in the video, please type history in the comment section. You get a shout out in the next video. Thank you again guys. It's a pleasure. Bless.